Well, at a state for line without her eyes low.
And Don Weldon, yeah, or yeah. That's Collage. Oh, God, damn me, I forgot. Hey, remember to have that.
Oh, that I shot. Okay. Oh, we're getting in there. You were here when I there.
You go here.
Okay. Well, we have some writing. I always think I'm not going to write, and then it comes out so beautiful. I have to read it. This is Wednesday night channeling number 99. You believe that? And another thing that we need is some help in typing these up. That's one of the things I forgot. Anybody who likes to type the tapes up. Our class is entitled Living Peace. Let us explore the word and garner more of its meaning. The peace of understanding, peace that passeth understanding, someone has said. Let us try to capture a picture in words that may help you to establish this into your consciousness more clearly and to a greater extent. Let us explore the depth and breadth of the state of consciousness that can bring heaven closer to your full realization. If you make a mistake, so-called, do you lose your peacefulness? If someone disturbs the vibrations with anger or some other negative, can you remain at peace within? Your plane is filled with the hustle and bustle of commerce. Can you walk through your day keeping the state of peace within? This, my dear ones, is the challenge. To be at peace no matter what happens around you or to you. If you can, you are on your way to be the master of this dimension. Your world, your universe, is within you, not outside of you. When you allow outer things to rob you of your peace, you are giving in to illusion. Go ahead. Shall we have a quiet time? Let us relax our bodies and our minds and bring our thoughts to this moment and to this place. Let us release the day and all the past and live completely in the present, here and now. See this circle of light as it moves upward to the higher dimensions. See the beings of light reaching down to us as we reach up to them. Let us establish within ourselves this inner peace, the peace that passeth understanding. And as we establish this, it will bring the communication to our outer ears much easier. Thank you, Father. Good evening, my dear ones. This is Don, coming to you with joy and happiness and peace this beautiful evening. You are blessed greatly to be in this wonderful place on your planet. You are blessed greatly to be attracted to this kind of teaching. And I say this in the full realization of watching the masses on your plane while they go about chasing illusion and running after the red beads while they trample the pearls in the dust. My dear ones, as you move higher in consciousness with this greater understanding that we try to impart to you in your language. You are blessed among all people on this planet. And we on this side of the veil jump with joy to see you as you move forward in your understanding of the spiritual truths that we try to impart to you. Your lights are becoming brighter, your understanding is greater, and your peace of mind is more fulfilled. Let us speak tonight about this word peace. I would impart to you the value, the great value of practicing the state of peace and bringing it into your consciousness in such a way that you do not lose it. It is one of the most important things for you to bring to your planet. For your planet has been at war for many, many years. There has been very few times that there has not been a war going on somewhere on your planet. And to bring peace on your planet, you must begin with yourself. You must begin to understand it in a much greater way. As you understand it and practice it and let it be the core of your being, then you make footprints in the ethers that others can follow. I would say to you at this moment, are you completely at peace within your body? If you could see from this side, you would see that very few of you are completely at peace with your body and in your body. As you learn to go into meditation and be hypnotized, that's one of the first things that you do, is to relax your body, do you not? And this takes away the tension, takes away the disturbance, so that you can concentrate from the inner and hear the suggestions to bring about the change. Now let us say, try to go about being as relaxed in your daily life as you are when you go into meditation or when you go into hypnosis. Some of you reach a very deep level of peace in your body and in your mind. And I would have you to consider this and give it much more value than you have in the past. It is the spearhead of bringing about being a master of this plane. When you can truly be at peace, when all else around you is chaos, then you are the master of yourself, are you not? And as you become the master of yourself, you also become the master of your world and your universe. It is of great importance that you consider this in greater depth, the word peace, the state of peace, the consciousness of peace. When you are walking from one place to another, are you tense in your body, in your mind, in your thoughts? What are you thinking about when you move around. In your work-a-day world, are you tense or are you at peace? If you watch yourself closely, you will find that much of the time you are tense when maybe you thought you were at peace. There are little things, little disturbances that you allow the mind to pick up from the outer world or from some insecurity within yourself. And this brings about a tension in your finer bodies, and this drifts down into your physical body. I did not come here tonight to criticize you, my dear ones. I say all of this in the greatest of love, helping you to understand and to realize the depth and the breadth and the meaning, the true meaning of a peaceful state of consciousness. And my dear ones, it is indeed the peace that passes understanding. When you can develop this ability to put this first in your life, peace of mind, peace in your body, peace in all areas of your life, peace with all others around you at all times. This may seem impossible to you, but I would have you practice it. I would have you consider taking more time to think about it. Give it more of your attention and be aware when there is a lack of peace that maybe you have not been aware of in the past. Not to criticize yourself or bemoan your failure, but to realize and to correct. When you become aware, and we have talked about self-awareness, when you become much more aware of yourself and what is happening within you, what is going on, then you have the opportunity to make the corrections because you have the tools that you have learned in your classes. But when you are blind to what is happening inside of you because you have your attention on the outer five sense world so much that you do not pay attention to what is happening inside of you. The inner worlds are over 98% of life. This is the reality, my dear ones. The inner, the outer world that you give so much attention to, that you strain against, that you struggle with sometimes, is illusion. And as you understand this statement that I have just made, you will realize that you need not give your attention and your energy and your thought to things that are not real. Yes, it is difficult at times to break old habit patterns, but this is why you have come to this place. This is why that you have decided that this can be the culmination of your learning on this plane and be free to not have to return again. Those who come to groups such as this This is their goal, whether they know it or not, to correct the misunderstandings of life, to obey and go with the laws of life instead of against the laws. This gives you the way out of these lower dimensions. And no matter how much effort you have to put into it, no matter what you have to give up of the physical world, it should be number one priority. For my dear ones, this physical world is just your schoolroom. It is not your real home. It is just a place that you have come to have something to push against, something to learn, opportunities to learn that you do not always have on the higher dimensions of love and light. And so you purposely came here to have these so-called trouble and problems that we call opportunities. There is much, much to learn in life, and always will be. And this is the exciting part of being alive. Every day, thank God for the life that He has given you. Thank God for the creation of your being, and allow His love to flow through you much of the day. Allow His peace to be within you and to exude from you, so that those around you will feel it and know that you truly are at peace and that you truly love life and love yourself. As you can demonstrate this, then you become the master, and you raise your consciousness above this world, and you see this world much differently than you do when you are looking at it from the surface viewpoint. There is much that you can learn by getting your priorities in the right order. It is a struggle to maintain your body, and this you planned, this stage, these props on this stage, you planned it this way so that you would have this opportunity to have to sustain your body, your physical body, and have all the experiences that go with it. But my dear ones, the only reason that you created this stage and the props that are on this stage is to learn to rise above them. And when you get caught up in the play and forget who you truly are, then you are lost in illusion, and you're playing the game of illusion. Let us stop at this time and give you an opportunity to ask questions. There is much to talk about with this word peace, and learning to establish it firmly in your consciousness so that nothing or no one or any situation can part you from it. Are there questions that you would like to ask this evening?
I have a question.
Yes.
In reference to becoming aware on a conscious level of the illusion and not getting so caught up in it, it seems like getting caught up in it kind of sneaks up on us. in reference to trying to stay in the relaxed state, peaceful state, and stay away from concentrating on the illusion or getting caught up in it without even realizing you are. What, other than the peaceful state that you speak of, or maintaining that, or trying to phrase this question.
Yeah, what should you do? Huh?
Yes, what can be done when we get caught up in the illusion without even realizing that we're caught up in it?
When you realize that you have slipped, shall we say, immediately change your consciousness and do not stop to scold yourself. Just send love into it and move back into the consciousness of peace and the consciousness of love. Now, as you start your day, and this I have said to you so many times, if you can start your day with the attitude of love and peace and joy, and move into your day with this, and then stop to renew it often through the day, then if you have a planned program, shall we say, for your day, then you will not be so apt to get caught up in the illusion. Remember that I've said, let there be in your mind a chant of love or thinking of God. God be with me. God is love. Life is love. As you fill your mind with these kinds of thoughts, you see, it creates a light around you, and the negativity does not like this light, and it helps to keep it away. It helps you to be more the master of those old patterns, because you are filling that space with something and keeping it filled. Do you understand?
Yes, Sanchi.
It is a very big task that you have taken on, and it is not easy, but my dear ones, it is possible. It is possible through the help of God, not any other way. And all of us that are helpers are there to help you. But when you depend on the arm of flesh, then you will be disappointed. When you look for your fulfillment in the physical world of illusion, you will find the red beads, but they will not fulfill you. Are there other questions this evening?
Yes, I have a question. Sometimes I start the day out by making myself a channel for God's love substance, but then I get lost in the illusion and I forget about it during the day, and only at odd moments do I recall and do it again. But what I'm asking is, does it in the meantime close that channel when I forget and get lost in the illusion?
Not entirely, because your motives and your intent is good. You see, you have made a commitment to yourself, and I feel that most of you in this room, if not all of you, have made this commitment to yourself to rise above this physical world, to be the master of it. And that motivation, if you put it in number one priority, then it makes a large difference. And as you move through your day and stumble, immediately get back into your frame of mind, of peace and love, and practice, practice, practice. It takes much practice, my dear ones. And the ones that are helping you from this side of the veil have gone through this. There are few that come through who have not had the experiences of your kind of plane. But the most part, we have gone through the same thing and have overcome it. And so we know and we understand and we know what it takes. It takes dedication. Are there other questions this evening?
I was fine. If when I'm tense, it's no use trying to fight the tenseness. You just can't do it. But if I start setting God, unlimited love, unlabeled love, unconditional love to every living creature, every and all the royals, everything I can think of. I can do it for about a half hour without stopping. And I feel so much better. I forget the retention.
Yes. You replaced it. And this is what you have to continually do throughout your day. Some of you are in jobs of tension more than others. And you have jobs of responsibility, and you allow this responsibility to weigh upon you. You have the responsibility of making money to take care of your physical, and you allow this to weigh heavy. Try not to do this. Start your day with God's presence and His awareness within your mind, within your feeling, within your consciousness, and keep this awareness. For, my dear ones, He is the life force that you are. And as you can have this realization, His power gives you the power to think. And you can do nothing unless you think. Everything that you do, every word that you say, is done through thought on this dimension. And on this dimension, your thoughts are in language. And if you keep this presence, His presence, aware in your consciousness that He is this body that you are living through, He is this mind that you are thinking through, He is the words that you are speaking. As you do this, and you humble yourself, your little self, your conscious self, to give His presence the priority, then you see you have that peace that passeth understanding. And when you have the peace, every thought goes through your bodies, all your finer bodies and your physical body. And when it is only thoughts of peace and love, then your bodies manifest in His perfection. Can you see the picture that we are painting for you in words?
Everything ideas of peace. I remember once I just completely took over and I experienced states. Other times I can talk about it, I can think about it, but it isn't the same thing as a great big gap in between.
Yes. Now, let me give you a suggestion about this. Think of God and His power to bring about peace within you and ask him for the consciousness of peace. You see, we have him right within us, him and her, the Father, Mother, God. We have right within us at all times, and we forget to ask. But he has given us the free will, so we must remember to ask. He cannot interfere with the free will, or you would not grow. You would not make the mistakes. You would not stumble. And it is through the so-called mistakes and stumbling that you do grow, my dear ones. Remember this, and eliminate feelings of guilt or condemnation. Eliminate that from your thoughts and your language, and be at peace.
I can't push teeth, but I can think of love. And if I keep wishing love on other people, unselfish, unconditional love with no strings attached, and if I can think of that for all other people, then the peace creeps up, and it's a real spontaneous peace. But if I try to push peace, I got nothing but words.
Yes. Whatever works for you is the best. And peace and love are attributes of our Father God. And when we understand this, when we try to bring into our knowing, our consciousness, who is God? What is God like? And when we practice this and ask him to show himself to you in feeling, in words, in pictures, in every way possible, he will, my dear one. Are there other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
If I have a tendency to get used to that peaceful feeling, like my home, I have this environment that's very peaceful, and then I find that on the way to work, it's this crawling tiredness or the heaviness that I start to experience. And when I go out, crowds of people, and I'm wondering if that's running away from it, or should you plan to not be in those type of environments consciously so that you can avoid that type of environment?
When you plan to not be there, that is running away from it. You see, whatever you need to learn is right in front of you. You have heard this said, have you not? And so this is in front of you. Take the understanding, the consciousness of peace with you everywhere you go. Keep practicing this until it is real, until it is realized, till it is made real to your consciousness. And no matter what happens around you, as you develop the consciousness of peace and love, you see things much more clearly. When someone is giving you a hard time or attempting to do something that could disturb your peace if you let them, you see them in a different light, and you do not have to react. But until you get there, continue to practice. Continue to send God's love ahead of you, and to remember that it is there waiting for you every second.
You mean that we should just stay in this environment of yowling that's called music, and just makes ourselves peaceful with that awful yowling?
I'm not sure what you mean by yowling.
Well, just what they call pop music. I mean, you mean you have to stay there and not seek the peaceful state.
I understand what you mean, my dear.
I can't see that does that help you?
Yes. But if you are in that place where that kind of music is disturbing you, you have placed yourself there.
You unplace yourself then in a third attack.
Yes. But
Running away.
it could be.
I don't think God ever wanted us to put up with that.
Yes. There is a difference in your ability to change your environment. If you have an easy way to change your environment and it is accessible to you, then yes, you change it through wisdom. But when you have to support your body, as these younger people do, and you have to go to work, then you have to be involved in the world. Yes. And it is taking that consciousness of peace with you in the world that will eventually give you the mastership of it. But you will have to practice.
I have a question.
Yes.
I find today I feel a lot up spiritually today more than I have in a long time, and I think part of what was being caught up in the illusion recently, but there are also some wonderful things in my life that I think have aided my spiritual upliftment. Also, this evening I believe there's a full moon out, and I've noticed my particular mood at times when there is a full moon. I was just wondering, is there any kind of validity in reference to, I'll call it a universal type thing where the moon being full has any kind of effect on us in the physical?
According to your belief, so is it. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This answers your question, but I will comment more on this. There is the influences all around you of all kinds, and the full moon and the belief of its power is a race thought, you might say. And when you have this belief system, then you are affected by it. Some people who know not the truth of life as you are learning can be affected by the full moon much more. And in your hospitals you have heard that there are more patients on the nights of the full moon. There are more activity in different ways. Yes, that influence is there, but you do not have to be under that influence. You can be above it.
And the other light run in cycles.
There are cycles too. This is the same thing as the full moon, and you do not have to be controlled by the cycles either. You are the master of yourself when you take the opportunity to take control of your thoughts and work at this until it becomes a reality to you. Then nothing of this plane can touch you.
Isn't it kind of a good idea to keep our free will that God gave us until we tend to step out of his plan and then ask him to stop us before we get out?
I'm not sure what you are saying.
But I mean, isn't it all right for us to have our free will as long as it conforms to God's plan for our life? But if we go on and start stepping out of God's plan, isn't it better that he get us off? Can't we ask him to get us off before we get out of his plan?
Yes, you can, but he has given you free will, and unless you ask him just before this, he cannot interfere. And there is an asking and there is an asking. With one part of yourself, you are asking God for help. But with another part of yourself, you may not want the help. You may want the way of the little self. And you see, it is the one that has the dominion, that has the control, who is talking, the little self or the higher self. Do you understand?
Yes, but can't you ask the little self to learn how to love?
You can teach the little self to learn how to love through love, just as you would a child.
But do you take the little self and give the little self love and raise him up to the higher self?
This is correct. This is your goal. When you do this, then you see you are integrated, as your teacher has said. And when you have total integration, then you are the master. And you are one with yourself on all levels of yourself.
Do we have to have total integration before we can graduate?
You are graduating day by day, in a sense, as you move upward in consciousness. But when you master the things of this dimension, then you will not have to come back again to it, because you have learned your lessons, and there will be no reason unless you come to teach others and to help others. There are times when you have many loved ones that are still stuck in the mire of this lower dimensions, and it is difficult to go off and leave them. And some come back again to help. And there have been times when they get stuck in the mire again themselves and have to work their way out. It is all in the plan of the larger picture. And these words are not coming out correctly.
So forces to help us pull us off.
You always have the spiritual forces, but you must ask, and you must use them. You see, God works through you, not for you. And this is something that some do not understand. They want God to do everything for them, or the magic wand, and you have to do it yourself, or you will not learn. You will not be the master. You will be a child being carried around on a pillow all the time.
But every child can grow up, can't they?
Yes, they can, and they grow up by trial and error, do they not?
Yes.
And they continue to try until they can walk. And then they learn to walk, they can learn to run.
But we human beings, as long as we're dealing with, we aren't graduated.
You are not human. You're only playing the role of human, my dear. Yes. This is a play on a stage. and in true reality you are God's. And when this realization is fulfilled in your consciousness, then you act as gods and not as humans. Yes. Yes.
Would it be okay if I ask some questions that do not necessarily pertain to the topic that we started with?
If they're not personal, I do.
I've been curious for some time now about humor, what exactly it is, and why we find some face funny, and if this humor exists on higher dimensions. I don't exactly understand the concept behind it.
You're talking about laughter and humor.
Because we talked about peace, and I thought, well, when you're laughing, it's kind of you're oblivious to everything that's going on, just in the present. It's like a high.
Yes, and it depends on what you're laughing at. If you're laughing at someone else's expense, and most comedians, they're putting someone down to get laughter from the audience. This is not correct, and it is not fulfilling. If you are laughing and with joy in your heart and at peace with things around you, or if you are seeing a movie that brings about laughter, that is without putting someone down or at someone else's expense, then it is good. It is good to laugh. And when this circle of light has a laughter and their spirits are raised and the vibrations of this room are raised and everything is made so much easier and lighter. If some of you have read the life and teachings of the Masters of the Far East, you will remember that there was the laughing Chela, and his humor and laughter made everything lighter for him. And it helped him up the hills with carrying the luggage without any strain. This is the kind of laughter and humor that you should have. It is more closely akin to joy. Most people on your plane laugh when someone makes a mistake or at someone else's expense. And this is, they are laughing because they do not know what else to do. It is a nervous laughter. There are two kinds of laughter, at least. And so when you are laughing with joy and feeling good about yourself and about life around you and everything else, then this is akin to the celestial music, my dear. And it can raise your consciousness to the heights, to great heights. Do you understand?
Yes, it seems like it could be mentioned the laughing Sheila in the book, and she seems such a powerful tool that I'm curious that I don't find it more stages teachings or brains on
yes, and it should be taught in the right way. If when you meet a friend and you spontaneously both laugh, it is a greeting. It is a joyful greeting. And some do this, and there's nothing wrong with this. But when you laugh because someone makes a mistake, it is a nervous laughter, and you laugh because you don't know what else to do. Is this understandable to you?
Yes.
Yes. It is a good question. And it can bring about peace or it can bring about depression. See, the opposite of peace, my dear ones, is depression. And depression is brought about by misunderstanding yourself and life and what it is all about. It is brought about believing in illusion. There is a way out for everyone, no matter what their condition is. And if someone with the spirit of joy and love and peace can touch that one in the inner part where God dwells, they can bring them out of the deepest depression, and through more education and understanding, they can be taught to enjoy life instead of be angry and hate life. Are there other questions this evening?
I have a question pertaining back to the humor, and when you're laughing at something because you're nervous, you don't know what else to do. I know sometimes when I have a group meeting and something that I've suggested that we do meet merely because that's a requirement that we have to meet for our jobs, and I've made a suggestion that now I'm going to have everybody participate in it. And some people are not open to participating because of whatever personal reason they have, shyness or whatever. But then I turn around and say something to make it humorous so that they don't feel so self-conscious about it. Is that making fun of them, or is that just...
No, you are helping them, aren't you? Are you not?
It's my intention, but sometimes
Yes.
it's a fine line to walk sometimes.
It's your motivation, it's your motive behind it that makes the difference.
There's nothing more fascinating than a supervisor who teaches but healing, because the people who work under her are really looking forward to the correction, because they're pleasant and it leaves a nice feeling.
And if you do it with love,
Well, if that's what has to be done.
yes.
You can't correct anyone without love.
You see, when you have these things as habit patterns within you, they come out automatically. The love, the peace, the joy, and others feel it, and they respond to it.
I got a supervisor. I thought I need this to do it.
Yes. But of course, they respond to the opposite too. You are learning, my dear ones, and I want you to understand this. I want you to know that you are making greater strides than you think sometimes. And I would encourage you to keep on trying, no matter how big a mistake you think you might make or whatever happens around you. Do not buy into it. I'll use your language. Do not buy into it. Do not accept it. Accept the truth that you have been taught and rise above it and let the light shine into it. And God's love is the healing agent.
This is definitely a gradual process, so we can't do it by leaps and bounds.
Yes, but some of you are moving right along, and because you are making the effort, the average person on your dimension is not even trying. They are just existing and getting by, and some of them are going in the opposite direction. But I want you to know how fortunate you are that you have come to the place in consciousness when you can choose to come to a place like this to learn and to make the efforts and to take it into your day.
Our educational supply seems like such a waste that all of this the healing pattern had without considering the spiritual, and it seems as though you don't get any more than a cent that you out of the whole college course.
Yes, but this is a different college course, and you are learning to know the truth, and the truth is setting you free. Are there other questions this evening?
I have another question.
Yeah.
Back to feeling when you go through your day, you're feeling really great and you feel good, and you see that a lot of the thing that this is where I have the problem. I have a tendency that a lot of things that I've done, but it's actually a lot of the things that God has done through me have started working. But sometimes you get lost in that and you keep saying, boy, this is really working. You know, what I've done is great. How can you keep from doing it? I have a big problem with that.
Are you referring to taking the credit for yourself? Is this what you're saying? I do not.
Unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
And I remember when it's not me doing it, it is God doing it.
Yes. And make a habit of saying, thank you, Father, for this understanding. Thank you for working through me. Thank you for talking to these individuals through me. As soon as you are aware, God does not condemn you, my dear one. You are the only one that condemns yourself for mistakes. And when you find that you are getting a little bit off, be able to be humorous about yourself. This is another way, and it is not putting yourself down, but say, laugh at yourself a little bit and say, we can do better than this. And let the little self know that you do care about it, and work with your little self to bring it up, and it will respond with love. It will respond with peace. I want to remind you about your physical body and the word peace. You are manifesting on this physical plane through your physical body and your five senses, are you not? And when you are at peace, then your physical body is at peace. But when your physical body is ill or dis-ease, then it is because you are not at peace within yourself, within your spirit, within your soul, and that comes down through your mind. And realize this, and if you can watch your physical body as you move through your day and walk slower, it is all right. Very helpful. But it is your physical body that you're manifesting through and you're using on this plane, along with your thoughts. And your thoughts have to precede movement. So when your physical body is tense, or you have a headache, or some other thing that tells you that your body is not at ease, then your thoughts are not at ease. And when your mind is not at ease, then reach higher into your spirit, into the God within you, and look for the answers. Ask God to shine His light within you to show you. And I promise you, if you will make this personal contact with the God within you, He will show you. He will shine the light upon your path and make everything easier for you. This can bring about the state of peace. More than anything else, is making that conscious contact with the God within you and having the realization that He is the life force that you are. And without His life flowing through you, you would not exist. Some think of God way off and that they do not deserve God's help. And you must get this out of your consciousness and realize that God never condemns you. He only loves you. But He will show you a better way when you ask and when you make an effort. It is a good practice, as I have told you before, to at least once a day, and maybe more, sit down and get quiet and go within and communicate with God. Maybe not in words, or in words if you like, but have that communion, as it is called, and know that you're having it. And let that rapport between your conscious self and your higher self and God be in alignment, and keep it in alignment as long as you can. And when you lose it, sit down and get it again. This has been a beautiful evening. It has been a peaceful evening, and your lights are shining brightly, and love abounds in this room, for there are many, many others from this side of the veil that are listening intensely and are helping you with your understanding, your teachers and guides. Listen for their guidance. Open your mind. And when you get a hunch, say, "Thank you, Father," for it is God, no matter whether it is your teacher or guide or whoever, it is God, for He is the only power. He is the only life there is. You are beautiful, beautiful souls, and we love you dearly. Be at peace. Good evening. Shall we hold hands? Let's come together. I hold your hand. Lean down this wonderful truth into our physical conscious awareness, bringing it down to the earth plane. Let us include heaven by the other planet the high step of life. Let us think in of earth and goodwill toward every planet. And let us see it our planet shining brightly as we raise our cups and moons to our life in other deep. Yeah, taken through six hurt things. Yeah, but over to you. Tom, with speak. Nice group of mine. I hear the vibration very high. Do you hear them?
I look at him and then I feel. He answered an unlost question that I had in my mind about laughing at yourself? You know, is that being derisive of yourself, or is that just not taking its illusion too seriously?
A teacher often fix your mind, answer your question. If it's talking about that in the way here, if some people go and ask questions, and people all kind of all try to be like, to me, and like, about questions that now just I do understand to one question and the question, or both of them.
I don't think it's bad and that doesn't have to answer question. Because, I mean, he reducted them. I mean, it's a part. You can't have just one side all the time.
That should be a two-way communication.
Plus, you to answer.
You might ask questions.
That's fine. Here, you know about it again. I get turned around self-time. Okay. Let's stop these people. What are we gonna do with them? You started.
We'll have to give them the freedom.
Annabelle is perfectly will. Yeah, but Annabelle, they have free will not to ask if they don't want. Oh, I know it, but just the same, it's just like a party. If you go to a party and you sit back, and sometimes I enjoy it more when you enjoy it more, but the hostess doesn't. Maybe not. Depends on what I do when I speak. If all I do is cause aggravation or cause confusion, then the hostess would much rather that I sit in a corner.
The conversation I have, when friends of us talk about that quality.
Yeah.
You don't have anything in common with them anymore.
Get it?
You know, or know what they want, you know the story, and it's the social etiquette. I had very blooded because I was sitting me for it.
Right back home for a short time.
It's surprising how some of these people, if you don't think are having anything to offer you, have a terrific amount to offer you when you open up yourself. I mean, you see them as unlisted, and this body won't be that, but you change yourself and you see a miracle.
I don't think it's seeing them as our instances as me finding a common ground. Sorry. Or if they're talking about something that I have some input in, or would like to know something about, I'm here.
Yes, I
But
know.
otherwise, more difficult to meet them.
You're more than going there. Yeah, but it's a base. It's not that really. It's not like the truth. It's not like it's like they didn't talk to anybody. Act like anywhere. The boy talk. So that's so I don't agree. This lack of people.
Well, the same thing with questions. Sometimes if you're just sitting there, trying to think of a question, then you miss half of what's going on and what is being said because you're trying to very hard to participate and ask questions when you
Should be spontaneous.
right.
Or if you get a question in your
Mind you just wait for them all to jump in.
Right.
Just ask more questions, say out loud, but asked about a hurry question.
That's the part. And so with the local answer, you get how they finish that. You know, things that then. But these people are thinking of 100 questions. That's what I like.
said he thought 100 questions, and how many?
Well, yes, I thought of that. That's where I thought these people that are thinking 100 questions too. But they didn't. But he got answered. Yeah.
Right away.
Did you get the answers for all?
Every one of them. And I felt like, rats, don't get that some out loud, but it was just there. And sometimes it works, sometimes I get his little self-answer.
But if you were really less that self-answer, it would probably help Doug.
Well, it's difficult to decide. Some questions are personal,
Oh, yeah.
and some questions are is it worth your time? I can't decide that, and I ask the questions that really, to me, that I really needed the answer. Hard trading.
When we were back in Oklahoma, they didn't, after Elwood he just gave a lesson and didn't, every once in a while, he'd ask questions, but not often. But every one of the 20 some odd people there, that all go away saying that class was just for me. And
Come here.
well,
Everybody. I think it works that way. I think it works that way. I've been wanting a poetry from a certain woman that I've heard her recite her poetry 3 years ago, and I've been itching to find out where I can give her poems. And the other day, I'm listening to the TV. She gave a whole business about art. Well, so I called the station and asked about it. For I could give her poems. I didn't know how to contact her.
you got it. They won't.
Well, I guess so. They said they'd try. And I wrote on it. She reads Rex interesting poetry.
How do you ask the question if you're? I mean, I think, well, if I could curse, without my body and go to chat with some teacher and God, it would, it seems like I would have this. The answer's the word like I answered. Talked out loud and got a concrete answer. I feel like that affected. So I thought, like, I would think that you're capable of for instance, awareness of your teachers.
Well, I go around here a lot of times talking out loud most of the time.
I think it starts out very,
You're okay.
I wonder if
it
anybody.
starts out very small, though. You start out saying, well, was that my mind or was that
Yeah.
higher
Self, and then
Right.
every time you say, oh, that was my higher self, and you admit that and didn't see something that,
I think it becomes clearer and clearer with that.
Yeah.
that first,
You think, oh, that's not.
It's just me thinking
Yeah,
that,
I'm
you know.
thinking
And you have to give credit to it when it seems right, You need to give credit. Say thank you. Gratitude.
that. Be an external being that's going to appear before you.
Yeah, I have this expectation.
Some of this stuff you've written, you know that it comes to you.
So through me, yeah.
It comes through you. And if you go back and read over some of the things you've written, it helps you tremendously, doesn't it?
Yes, and my writing, the way that I write is different when it's somebody coming through me. It's legible.
And practice that often in what you write. And if you just sit down, I don't care who you are, you just sit down and put your pen in your hand and let it go. Me. We go back and we read them. It's
you wonder, oh, that was thought. And then it showed up.
and then somebody said you should change it. I can't change it. I couldn't do it any better than it. Oh, did she? Oh yeah. I mean, somebody thinks that they'd be a better idea if you did this way. That was right for them, but it came through me for me. But it wasn't mine. And I think when you claim it for yourself, you're lying.
Well, I think that's what I was referring to when I asked the question as to whether, how do you keep that from happening an awful lot? Because sometimes, like at work today, something turned out really well, and I thought, well, I should do this more often because I know if I do it, it'll turn out okay. But it wasn't intentional that it was because I had sent God's love into it that it worked out okay, and because I remembered that it worked. And I was, saying, well, why don't I do that more often? But again, I was using the I, like it's me that does it instead of God.
Well, when you use the word I, see, that's the higher self.
Really, in reality, you believe it's in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what
when
I
you
was
and God
talking
are
about,
one,
is knowing the difference, If there is no difference, if I believe there is no difference, and there is,
When you got the I is everybody. It's all life. It's just the end.
yes, but understand we are in a social, worldly illusion of me, I,
The great big I living in you.
the ego, society that we're in.
We know better than that, even though we don't. We do slip up once in a while. We know we're being a fool.
we know, but we forget our knowing sometimes.
When I was talking about, when I was talking about the humor and knowing when you're not trying to make fun of that person, but like I had one of the things we have to do is safety meetings. That we had all have a choice about that, and I can't seem. I tried for a year to get it through everybody's head that they have to practice safety at work. What I finally made the decision is that I'm going to have each one of them conduct a safety meeting, because maybe that'll help them bring it through. And one of them started really panicky. He can't do that. He's very shy. There's no way I can ask him to do this, and he's going to be absent if I ask him to do it. And he's one of the worst ones for practicing safety.
Oh.
And what I thought of at the time was, okay, I'll tell you what, instead of going by seniority in each one of you doing it, what I'm going to do is those of you that I catch not practicing safety, you're going to have to conduct a meeting. And that cracked everybody up except the person that it pertained to. He didn't think that was very funny, but I was just trying to ease it up a little.
You got the point across, too.
That's one of the things that
Remembering that all of life is God is another thing. No matter what it appears to be on this physical plane, it's God manifesting through us as best we can at that moment.
and it just dissolved into nothing.
Yeah. Nothing but everything.
They're cooking it on.
So we call it a class for